Hey, Gene.
Everything okay?
Yeah, it'd be better if we get some rain. We're sitting here, I'm staring out the window. It's like it's a mile down the road.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
getting rain right now.
oh, man, it's killer to see it be so close and then just sort of dissipates on the radar. So,
Right? In the Henrys.
well, both ends, man. It does. Yeah, the Henry's definitely like they break it up, and then this time it's coming from the south. It looks like it's sliding more east than it is, due north. So, man, it's a curse. Yeah, it would help tremendously with all the dust, from all that work up at the power plant, especially. So,
The boulders they have up there are not boulders; they're little rocks. I need big rocks.
yeah, there's not, yeah, there's some, not what I consider big ones, but
Oh no, yeah,
yeah,
that's. I'm not in a rush anyway.
I hear you. Nah, there's enough of them up there. I call them ankle breakers because they left a bunch in the, down below too, man. They got to come out of there. We move stuff in and out. So,
Well, we can either bring my mini up or my skid steer and clear it out or whatever we need to.
yeah.
I got brand new equipment. Just got took delivery of 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah, I got the backhoe, but it's a little too big, and like we got the little Kubota tractor, but it's a little bit too small. So
Now
uh
we need a good skid steer or a mini.
yeah, yeah, I
Just
agree. I would like
just
that.
chuck them off to the sides.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. So
That's what we don't need to haul them anywhere. We just need to chuck them on the hillsides.
yeah, agreed. No, we'll get there. It's just gonna take a little bit of time and rain would help. Like I said, it would settle a lot of that powder back down. So
So the generator on the is only running a couple hours a day then, huh?
I timed it last night, it was 5, and they're continually, dialing. Once we get the spin, which, they're putting an upgraded one, it's just taking
Right.
a little longer. That should actually feed more, from my understanding, daily and to the batteries too. So that should cut it down,
Well,
even. Yeah.
that spinning system is unique, and I think that they have the patent on that. It's not
Yeah.
like everybody else has that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Now
unique.
they were telling me up in Salt Lake, man, how the administrators up there can go into their control and hit a button and surge. They get this big demand and how that thing it was amazing how much energy it can send at one time to, keep the grid going up there. That's pretty incredible the way they describe it. So,
They have 24/7 monitoring. I saw the setup.
oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they're on it. Trust me, all the time. So, yeah, that's a huge benefit.
It's an advantage. Yeah, I don't think we could have ever gotten that anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I didn't think about it being that much of an advantage at the time, but now that it's here and you see it, it's apparent how important that is. Yeah,
I did. I saw it when I was in
yeah,
the place.
yeah, no doubt. So I think we got Mike and Alexa on, and I don't think there's anybody. I think let's see, everybody that I think everybody's here. Make sure nobody's in the waiting room. Yeah, no, I think we're good to go with everybody here. Uh,
Cool.
hang on, I gotta send one fella a passcode, Danny. We got to get everybody. Let's see. I'm gonna do that real quick. Uh, thought I had sent everything, but let's see.
I
Well,
had some equipment failure earlier today. Can you all hear me?
yeah, let me try to
Yeah.
find
Cool.
this for
Fixed
Danny.
itself, didn't do anything. I don't know how that worked.
Hey, Mike,
How's it going?
another day in paradise.
Yes, sir.
Hey, do any of you guys see the passcode for the meeting on your invite by chance? I need to get that to Danny Key.
I
Uh,
just I just push it and go straight on. So
well, yeah, apparently Danny can't. So,
It's
I have a
uh,
passcode 625195.
okay, 62625 195.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think it's probably here, but last second kind of throws me for a loop when I'm already in the meeting, so there's apologies for that. Uh, all right, maybe he'll get that and be able to join us. Good
Who's
deal.
that?
That's Danny Key who built the new house there. So
Oh, okay,
we'll uh
good.
we'll re-remind everybody that, we do emails and then subscribe to the public notice site too is always a good thing to do. Yeah.
Sure.
But I think we're ready, guys. Otherwise.
All right. Well, it's 5:33. I'd like to call the Tickaboo Utility Improvement District August meeting to order. Um, all the business pursuant to House Bill 5002, we're allowed to hold electronic meetings without an anchor location. On the agenda, we got second adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda or make any additions?
I make a motion
Wish.
to adopt the agenda.
Okay, got a motion. Do I have a second?
Did I second it?
Motion second. Any more discussion on that?
No?
Hearing none. Vote Alexa.
Yes.
Vote Gene.
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, approval of minutes from 6:10 and 7:8 meetings. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thanks,
That looks
Alexa.
fine
And
to
the
me.
second.
I second it.
Great. Assuming there's no discussion on that, vote Alexa.
Yes.
Gene.
Yes.
And I vote yes to approve those minutes.
Thanks, Connie,
Um,
for putting that together.
Yeah, thank you. Review procedures for handling electronic petition to the public. We kind of went over that in the beginning. Public comment. And we've just
Yeah.
got us, right?
Yeah.
So I guess there's no public comment. I guess we could circle back if somebody comes in. We're not that strict. Board reports and business. Number 6 is solar grid operations updates, and it includes preliminary discussion on rates, incentives, and related future effects of solar grid. John, would you like to lead off on that? You were kind of boots on the ground, or not kind of, you were boots on the ground in brutal heat throughout this project. Kind of give us an overview of everything that happened and where we're at today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really the main body of my, managerial update anyway. So that's going to take care of 90+% with that.
Okay.
Of course, yeah, right now, we're operating on the solar grid, which is, we've all talked about what a massive leap forward that is, for the community and TUID and everybody related. And what they're doing now, as I was discussing with Gene before the meeting, is going in and tuning everything. Looking at gosh, thousands, if not multiple thousands of data points that they get back, and going in and tuning, to get what we call even like clean power. How the batteries are charging, and how the generators charge those too. So yeah, what I told Gene, it's a I won't call it a benefit. It's really, turned into a necessity. I didn't think about that when they were, advertising that as part of their service, but it really is important. You got experts handling something that they do every day, and it's very sophisticated equipment too. So yeah, we're seeing the benefit from that. And one thing Nate said, and obviously the curve is not it's not going to be as steep as it sounds, but one thing Nate said that struck me, he said, it's really going to take an entire 4 seasons to get everything completely dialed. And it makes sense. I mean, it's not like we're going to be struggling. I'm assuming the efficiencies are probably going to be in the 80 to 90% range fairly quickly. But what he meant by that, and Tickaboo is so unique, and it is, we do vary, because of our location and, the variation of tourism, visitation, items like that. And that was the same way with me when, running the generators, I developed that intuition over the years, what was going to happen. Well, now we have, machine learning and experts learning that. So, yeah, basically, the whole point of that is we don't expect things to get better, efficiencies to improve. Um, Part of that too, you guys will know I've mentioned the spin mechanism. We're getting an upgraded one, which was not advertised, but it's great because we're getting more for the money. So as they finish that, that spin will do a couple things. Number one, it supplies additional power during the day, which powers the town and charges the batteries. So that should cut down on generator runtime even more at night. And then it helps clean power, for any surges too. So really, what we have now, it's piece of meal things. Obviously, the spin will be the biggest part of that. That's not too far out as they finish that upgraded one. One of the guys was back today, putting in the parking ballast around the batteries, per code, so that nobody runs over those. And we don't have a lot of traffic up there, but it's still got to be put in. And then the rest is the cleanup from the subcontractors. They've got some cleaning to do, uh, left over that, yeah, and some equipment up there. And then repair our SCADA line for the well. Right now, I'm still running that the old-fashioned way, where I run a pump daily to keep the tank full. So
Where is that, John? What's the forecast on getting that repaired?
we've been talking about just running a new line, and seeing if the transducer in there in the tank is what I mean is working. And if not, seeing if we need to replace that. I think
Okay.
and again, right now it's not a bad arrangement to do it manually. Um, but they were planning on, I think, this week. So I'm going to probably say, knowing how those subcontractors work, that means next week.
Next week. Yep.
Yeah. So I know them. So yeah, that'll be good. But I did find a spare transducer up at the plant, and I bet that, and what I mean by that is a new one. I bet that's the one that goes in that tank because it's submersible. Um, so if we had to replace it, that may, save a little money on their end. But
Yeah.
Well, as
uh,
much as we can automate it, the better off we are, John. I mean, you shouldn't
Sure.
have to go up there and turn off and on. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
and
Yeah,
and then anytime you're running lines, you're much better off. Well, Mike knows more than anybody, but it would be better to run a new line if we could.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Well, they talked about splicing that
Yeah.
older cable, and you got to watch that. Yeah, because it's a
Yeah.
really it's a milliamp signal, and it's very sensitive. And I told them that we're gonna have to, yeah, it's like, it looks like a piece of coax cable for television. It's not complicated. It's not that expensive.
Was that
And
the line that was nicked?
well, no, they actually just actually cut it clean in two about 8 different times when they were digging
Yeah.
And
when
they
they were
need to
digging the
replace
trench.
it.
Yeah, they do. So,
That's
uh,
that should be high on their list to make sure that's done right.
yeah, I'm not gonna let them forget it. Trust me. It's small enough to where, they can do it, and then important enough that it's got to be,
Yeah.
done correctly. So I'm not gonna let that. There's no way they leave here permanently with that, SCADA not intact. But everything else is good. Yeah, no, yeah, power wise, knock on wood, everything's, running. One person commented that uh, on the generators, their LED lights would always pulse, and now they don't. So they, be it real or imagined, they feel like they're getting cleaner power. And I feel like that's probably real. I mean, again, given the sophistication of the inverters and all that, it's probably not imagined. So that's a good thing.
Do we know what times the generators are running? I mean, do we have a generator run time so we know what hours they're running and we can kind of see where we're fluctuating?
Yeah, they were aiming for like a between 11:30 p.m. and 2 a.m. But I understand, and then I've got a camera on them too, where I can, see how they tick over, and of course see them, during the day. But uh, yeah, I would love to get that down, even more too. But
Don't they
uh,
have a daily report they send out?
they haven't yet. They're gonna get us integrated with all of that, as they tune and get caught up on everything too. So we'll be able to see that.
That's one of
Uh,
the things they said they would do is so that we would know daily where we're at and what generators are running where, when, and how, and So we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
monitor it and know whether there's a certain time period that we have a draw that recreates that. So
Yeah. So far, it's just been a manual. And again, they're scrambling, which I understand, but I would expect that to be also be about a week timeline.
yeah,
It will remind them too.
Yeah, they're ready to get us access to the software as soon as possible. They're just wanting to make sure everything is good to go, and then they're going to spend a little time with John and make sure he understands the software and myself and anybody else who wants access. We can set that up to where we get all on Zoom call, go through the training, and be able to understand what we're looking at. So I think it'd be good.
I think at least two of us on the board should be able to do that because if one person's not around or anything else, the other can
Sure.
do that. So if
I
Yeah.
agree.
there's a training session, let us know, and
Okay.
probably all three of us should do it. If I don't know what Alexa's schedule is, but
Yeah.
I
No, it's
can.
good to have redundancy. And this is probably a little bit of a deep dive for you guys too. But what I noticed, Gene, as you mentioned run time, the draw is significant. The draw is like 200 kilowatts recharging the batteries when it is. So what that tells me, if it's an instant 200, then number three can't handle that by itself. Because it's a maximum of 180. Um, so if it's 200 from the get-go, you always got to. There's going to be a time. There's not a if. It's a when that they're going to call on number one, the big one, and it's not going to crank. That's a generator for you. So there's got to be a plan in place to handle if it's a consistent 200 kilowatts. Uh, they have to do one or two things. Well, really, figure out to do maybe half the batteries at a time, to charge them because number three can't handle, 200 kilowatts all at one time. But I don't, maybe in their tuning too, I plan to follow up and see if they're always going to demand that or if it can ramp up, uh, too. But right now it's a full 200 kW to pull those batteries to charge them. So. And the number one loves that. That's right in its sweet spot at about a little bit less than 50% load. But no, there has to be a plan B because there will be a time that number one, being what it
Yeah.
is, it will not start. So
Sure. And I think that kind of leads into the necessity of getting the generator that burned repaired and
yeah.
kind of, getting it back in the plant and making the plant whole again at some point.
have a backup. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're revisiting that too. It's not a bad idea. And well, mentioning that too, and this was, going to go in the report. We also looking the mine had expressed interest in the MQ. I mean, it really, if you guys remember, I thought, well, the smaller one would be better for charging the batteries, but
Yeah.
that's out of the game now. But the mine was interested in it, and I did a oil test on it for them, which was good. They asked that. The oil test is nice and clean. I mean, as it should be. So I'm going to follow up with those guys and see what their interest, obviously with you guys' approval and debate, we could definitely put that money, towards getting number two back in place. And again, it communicates, then you have more options because it communicates with number three, and then together they become plan B. If it's that consistent 200 kilowatt demand for batteries, then they work together. They can handle it. So, uh,
But we
I'm
need
thinking that technical perfection might run into financial realities before long.
well, if we sold the MQ and then we got about 50,000 in insurance, from number two, I mean, we should, um, we can do the equations on that, but that would be, yeah, that would give us a pretty good,
don't we
Pretty
have
cheap money.
aren't one of those generators or that generator pledged on a loan somewhere?
uh,
Yes. It's
Yeah,
part of the
we
plant. It's part of the
oh
plant
yeah,
equipment.
So
yeah, but
if it's been pledged, then if we can't release it and sell it to somebody without paying that
no,
note
the
down.
MQ was not pledged.
No,
It
the
was
MQ.
the defunct C9 that was pledged to a CIB loan, but we did get approval for not replacing that that machine if we had solar panels and batteries.
correct. Yeah,
So we're not under any obligation to replace it. We should only do it
But
if
we
it
don't
makes
own it.
sense.
But we do not own it. It's pledged.
Well,
Not anymore.
we do own it, but
Yeah.
Just want to be careful we don't have collateral that we've pledged somewhere on a note and then we sell it
Sure.
and then we create a
yeah.
Yeah,
problem for
No,
us.
Yeah.
not the MQ at all, Gene. No, we paid cash for that. So that's yeah,
And-
that's
that's good. That's ours.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Yep.
we're good there. Yeah.
But based on battery charging loads, like John was saying, it makes sense to put the plant back together and make it whole. And when
Yes.
you look at, the one that needs repaired is a high hour generator, but it's got good oil tests. And, going forward, it's going to be minimal hours run. So, that generator might last another 10 years just because it's not being run as hard. But having that capacity is what the important thing is, making sure that we have the capacity if number one, like John said, doesn't fire or has a catastrophic failure, then we've got the other two that can
Yeah.
successfully operate the system. And that would have been the case with any system we own.
We shouldn't do any knee-jerk sales or anything else until we have a track record. I mean, we need to run this for a while and then make sure what we have there. I mean, let's give it time to see what we need.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I would just suggest a balance because the MQ, what's going to happen is going to start sitting, out too. So just, I would say maybe define a good happy medium, a tipping point for that. Because
Well,
she's
we
just
got the other
gonna sit.
C9s up in Salt Lake right now setting there. So we kind
Yeah.
of need to move forward with something on it. And I'd hate to ship it home and then ship it back later. I think, kind of in my mind, we need to make a decision on that sooner than later, get it repaired or something else.
Well,
Well, yeah.
it has no value if it's not repaired.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to have to be repaired sometime. It's just a matter of when we throw the dough at it, like Alexa said.
Sure.
Well, and another thing too, let you guys know, I emailed Kat again today to, that estimate that I got last year for the harness, that was literally a year ago. It was like July the 26th. I just asked him to give me an updated one, a year later if anything had changed, uh, which it could have. I mean, it obviously wouldn't go down, but so yeah, I'll get you guys all the numbers so you have, very well
yeah.
supported analysis.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I
yeah,
talked to you about that at some point that it's John, it's hard to overstate the level of financial distress of our major customer.
yeah,
And that will
Right.
have implications on our revenue stream.
And,
And there are solutions being worked out, but they may not be worked out until 2027. So
mhm.
there is a level of uncertainty on both sides of the equation.
Sure, sure. Yeah. No, and we do, yeah, and you guys know we have financial models, and I'll get those to you guys again that do model with that scenario in place. It's not pretty, but it is workable from the models that we built. Uh, I think about this time last year too. So we'll certainly get those to you guys.
Sure.
Hey,
And one thing that kind of gives me a little peace is knowing that, even if you overestimate generator runtime past the 25% mark for some reason, to say 6, 7 hours a day, we're still only looking at about 60,000 at $3.50 a gallon in fuel budget. And right now we've got a $260,000 fuel budget. So I think we're in a pretty good place to not panic, but I think we need to be aware and move forward cautiously, especially with what Alexa just talked about with the commercial end. But yeah, that's kind of what lets me sleep a little bit now that we've got this system in place.
yeah. And if diesel would only go down to 350, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
it'll get there.
Yeah. I
That's
remember you
you know,
telling me that in February, Gene.
We're
yeah.
close. It's close. We're really there.
It's
As of
still even at
today,
four
Yeah.
450, $5 a gallon, we're still way under budget on diesel
Yeah.
at the current run times.
I paid
Yeah, no,
408
no
yesterday.
matter how you slice it, just those solar panels and batteries are gonna make everything better in any scenario.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Diesel today out
It's
of
not,
Denver. I'm sorry. I was just going to say diesel was 561 today out of Denver. Uh,
That's out of doubt. I paid 407 yesterday filling my truck up. I put
wow.
$200 in it. I paid 407 at Walmart.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. No, this was red dye today from Alphen Petroleum. So maybe Alphen's doing the gouging. I don't know.
I would suggest they are. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
like every time I go down south, the price goes up from Salt
Yeah.
Lake City on the way down.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so. Yeah, but like I said, that's definitely a security blanket to keep us more immune from. And that's as I looked at financials and you guys know the deal too. It's fuel and repair and maintenance. It really puts all those in a box so they're not so wildly uncontrollable. They go from that to highly predictable now for the most part.
yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah, it puts us in a little more comfortable place of survival instead of a dire place of survival. And
At the mercy of the
yeah,
market.
Yeah. Well, and it allows us to model too. Again, whatever scenarios, from business and customers, uh, this modeling, we can actually update that because we don't have those unknowns of repair and maintenance yeah, that
sure.
helps stabilize that financial model under different scenarios too. So, uh, that definitely beneficial.
Cool.
Yep. Well, and hopefully once we get to a point where, we're able to, adjust rates to a lower number that will incentivize growth, hopefully, one of the biggest lot owners in the town will actually release some of those for sale again. So we can realize some of that growth. That's going to be the next thing that kind of hinders us is with the moratorium on sales on lots, and they own 99 lots in town. It's going to be a crunch. We might run up against the point where there's nowhere to expand to.
Yeah. No, does that make sense to you guys? I mean, the board, that's key because any incentive is going to have to. I mean, you do. I mean, what happens is private lot owners like Gina benefit because the demand has been there. That's what's been the majority of the sales and building lately, even through the real estate. There was a lot of those were third party lots brokered through the real estate branch. So, um, yeah, for any incentive to kick in, to me, that's a huge piece of the puzzle is that there's lots actually available. Uh, there is now, but it's just a handful of private owners that have some for sale.
Yeah,
Well,
so how long do we think we need to run this system before it makes sense to do the rate study we've been talking about since, no,
2 years.
2000, 3 years? Well, I don't know. When did I come on board?
Yeah, I
You,
think to answer your question, Alex, I think we start now and base our projections on, the contracted 25% generator runtime. I think we can safely do that. And we know a lot of our other costs, some that we'll have to estimate our repair and maintenance, but John's got a really good handle on that. As far as repairs to the system upgrades, that kind of thing, we kind of know that. So I think we really have all the numbers we need to start now. And if the system performs better than 25%, which I'm almost positive it will based on the numbers I've seen coming from Taurus as far as runtime, while they're dialing it in without the flywheel generator installed, that's going to actually lower that again. I think we'd be really safe at a 25% threshold with our rates
yeah.
and go from there.
We might have to do something about the fuel surcharge because whatever calculation we made to put that in place makes no sense. Have we been charging fuel surcharges lately,
Yeah, we didn't
Bonnie?
this last one we did not because of the intersection of this
Yeah.
system, going in, but we have we didn't have that many, and which is obviously good for everybody. But when they did, we did. But yeah, it does um, make it somewhat ineffective. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
the whole calculation, the whole basis, the whole thing, foundation of the calculation has
yeah,
been changed.
yeah,
So
big
the
Sure.
time.
numbers make no sense anymore.
Well, you
So we
probably,
can still charge
yeah,
it because it's our rate schedule, but it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and we do need to adjust,
yeah,
but I think we need to have runtime on this. I just think we need to make sure
yeah,
we're solid with where we're at, and they've only
Mm,
been up. It's only been up for 2 weeks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Really,
that's
really
Yeah.
true.
a
We
week.
shouldn't get too
Yeah,
Yeah,
excited,
a week.
but
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Well, that's one reason, Gene, I really pushed hard for a contracted 25% runtime or some percentage of runtime,
yeah.
because they're responsible to mitigate that.
But
And
that the unknown we have still is usage. We have a big user that is teetering,
sure,
and we've got to take that into consideration. I mean, it's huge.
sure. What's your consideration thought for that?
Well, I think we
Because
have
we
to give
can't
it.
control it.
There's nothing we can do. I mean, they're strapped with what's going on at Bullfrog, and Bullfrog's strapped with what's going on with the environment. I mean, it's a chase. It's a big thing, and there's a big that rate. Well, how the usages of the Colorado River is now. If they don't come to an agreement by October, the federal government steps in and will then mandate an agreement. They have the pact, the group of the Colorado water users, they have until that time to come up with a solution, which they're not going to. They're all bickering between each other.
No.
And then once they've passed that threshold in time, then the federal government comes steps in and says, we will make that determination. So I think by December, we're going to know more about how the Colorado water usage is going to be.
Sure.
The first year, it's a crucial thing. I mean, it's big. It's affecting so many states right now. I mean, you read what's going on in Las Vegas, and all of Arizona is like panicked. So
Yeah.
Well,
it's a big deal.
they published an EIS about the Colorado River, and it makes trying to read it makes me feel really dumb because
Hard to,
I don't
I
understand
know.
much of it.
I know.
But the bit that I do understand is that for the federal government keeping Lake Powell and Lake Mead at certain levels that will not deteriorate the federal infrastructure that's been put in place there is an important thing. So in
Yeah.
their preferred option. So that gives me a little hope.
That's what
Well,
I understood too, Alexa, was that, that for Glen Canyon, they were going to try to keep it around 3,600 feet, which is
Hmm.
really, in my mind, a really good level for that lake. I've seen 3,700, but 3,600 keeps everything open, Halls, Bullfrog, that whole area is wide open. All the main ramps are open.
Yeah.
Everything's wonderful.
If that's a goal, then we can at least hope that Tickaboo will not be a ghost town 10 years from now.
yeah.
Sure.
Well, anytime the federal government puts their finger in anything, they screw it up.
Yeah, yeah, I'll agree with that, Gene, but I'm cautiously optimistic because
But
I've
they
been
did
watching this
build those
battle.
dams that gave us the lakes,
Yeah,
Yep.
and
I've been watching this
they've
battle
been
back and
holding
forth.
since the 30s of last century. So every once in a while, they do at least something wrong, right?
Yep. Well, they've
I,
got to step in because there's the bickering between the states and the users is
Mm,
incredible right now. I mean, it's
yeah,
they're not going to come to a resolution together jointly. It's not going to happen.
mm.
I would
And
bet money it's going to be a lawsuit, and that might actually be in our favor. I
Yeah,
think,
I think
if
so
the
too.
government comes in and starts holding back water in both these reservoirs and doing their plan, and then California and Arizona are most definitely going to sue,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's when it gets tied up in court for years and years and years, and hopefully they
we'll
get to
probably
their
all
goal
be
of
dead before
3,600
that
feet.
gets resolved.
Yeah,
I
Yep.
don't think so. I think it's going to hit the wall because when these dams get to the point where they're getting. I mean, Lake Mead's okay because it's got that big deep hole down there where it goes down into Hoover Dam. We don't have that luxury on our dam. And it's really an issue because when they hit that dead pool, it's just going to create, it's going to be a shit show all the way down. And right now, people are screaming because of what they're pulling out of Flaming Gorge. Flaming Gorge has been, that's been the golden goose they're draining.
Yep. And Blue Mesa in Colorado, and there's a lot of big reservoirs that the Department of Rec owns that they're using to prop up, and a lot of people don't understand that too, that those dams aren't owned by Utah or anybody
No,
else. They're federally owned dams, infrastructure, and they're
it's
trying to save their system.
yeah, it's complicated. It's so complicated. I agree with Alexa. You look at the things and what they're doing. I'm going, my God, it's a mess.
Yeah,
Pact, when they put that pact together, they did not consider ever being it shy of water to the point we're at right now. It was never in their calculations.
exactly.
Maybe the solution is that we all pray for snow to whichever God we
Exactly.
think will listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're set up for it with El Nino this year. I think
Yeah.
it's looking like they're warning
Yeah.
Western Colorado and Utah that we're going to get some serious precipitation. So
I just read the Farmer Almanac report today, and it said that we are going to be shallow on
Yeah.
water in Utah.
Well, all things that luckily TUID is not responsible for.
No,
well,
we're
and I
affected
think
by it. I'm worried more about our neighbors there and how their businesses succeed and the problems they have. That's so crucial, I think, for the whole community. I mean, when there's nothing going on and it just shrinks, it's going to be a real issue. So NLP's got a real handful.
Sure do. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, and back to the rate discussion, we can kick that can down the road a little bit. I don't think the Public Service Commission is going to be dragging their feet too long on us lowering rates versus raising rates.
Basically, yeah.
But there's still going to be a delay from when we decide, yeah, this is what we want to do until we can actually do it. So that was kind of my drive to work forward as quickly and smartly as we can. And I think we can still do that and be concerned about the loss of commercial revenue. And maybe we make that part of the plan. Maybe we make that part of the plan where we lose commercial revenue and how do we survive
We have to
and
calculate
hope for
that.
the best, and hope for the best. I think we
It
can do
has to be in
both.
our calculations of that we are going to function as a community
Yep.
ourselves. But what worries me at this juncture right now is that we are going to gut punch ourselves. I think that we need to kick this back until January or February. But in the interim, I think we ought to be looking at options of how we can fund the rate study because raising that issue of getting a grant and other things, I think that's spot on. We need to be on top of
Yeah.
that.
John and I have been working on that independently and kind
Good.
of touching base every once in a while. And we came up for several different solutions that you can pay $20,000 to have a study done for your whole system, 20 to 30 to 40, whatever you want to pay. But the lowest is about 20. But there's some relationship we have with UAMPS that could help with that. And there's also the scenario where John and I get together and sit down and really dig deep and get something built, and then we could get it approved by a third party engineer.
Right.
And that would serve the same purpose as paying somebody 20 grand. So we've got all these different scenarios, and I hopefully we'll have time in the next month or two, John, to really kind of come up with some proposals that we can give to Gene and Alexa and figure out what would be the best way forward for us at this point.
Yeah.
I'd like to set a goal of saying we'll have something in place by December, January, by January at least, that we
Okay.
that we have something. I mean, I think we need to have a goal to work towards time wise. I think that'd be wise.
And I've got some resources here at San Miguel Power that I can lean on too. They just did another rate study here not too long ago. They've got some spreadsheets you can just plug numbers into. So I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on those and we got good old AI. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of value in that too. And
Yes, there is.
um, we
Yeah. These
can just
days.
keep
Yeah.
working forward and see what we can come up with. And my biggest thing is I want to find something that we can get third party approved just for litigation purposes and everything else, because I know in the past there's been lawsuits threatened on rates, different things going on, and I just want to make sure that we cover our bases there too. So
I think more those things are in the past. More these people that have those threats are in survival mode.
you never know what the next guy's going to be, buddy. Be careful
Yeah,
what you ask for.
well,
It
I,
Well,
could be worse.
one thing I'll add, guys, that, and I can send this to you guys again. I know we all forget, me included. Uh, Rural water, they did a rate study for us, just for water, which was really good. Um, and if I'm recalling correctly, don't quote me 100%, but I believe that water was kind of off. It wasn't, we're really supposed to be aligned where each sector can support itself, which, that's a tough one, but water didn't. Um, so there may be some surprises in there, which
Mm,
is, yeah, I mean, in the studies, listen to these guys that were the 30 or 40,000, they were incredible, the depth they went into, but
Yeah,
we do have the rural water. Yeah, to Alexa and Mike's point, it has been 3 years, but AI has become significantly prominent, from not being here to being here. So that could help either us directly, or you got 20-year-olds out there vibe coding that may build a program for $1,000 for you that can do it.
yeah,
They're really good at it.
it
So,
it's
uh,
changed the world. The AI has
yeah,
changed
yeah,
our world. It's a
yeah.
totally different world we're in.
So
well,
that's,
and
that could
it's
definitely help.
totally something you should double check and check and check and double check, but at least it gets you to a point where you can focus and double check and check. When you
Yeah,
got this huge mountain of data that you've got to try to sort out, and it sorts it all for you and says, okay, check this, check that. And that
Yeah.
makes it a lot easier
mm.
to validate and move through.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I
No, I
think we
think
got
we're getting some
some
more doors
promising
open.
ideas. So I think that's a good idea, Gene. Let's plan on January, no later than January, but I can guarantee we'll probably have something a lot earlier than that we can
We
present.
can always move the data, but I think we ought to have a goal in mind that we have something in there to make a determination. And I think
Sure.
January is a good time. It gives us some run time and other things, and I think we'll be more stable.
Yeah, I agree. Well, one thing I'll add to that too, Gene, that would fit in with your timeline, and we really, like I said, we've already modeled this, but to have two budgets, one, with the major consumer in place and the one without it, um, that way at least they're able to look at, and that's not hard to build, from a revenue standpoint, is to have those two budgets, ready to go type of deal.
Sure.
Obviously, we need one in place for the new year, and then we're going to build it anyway. But in doing so, while you're building that one, you build that other model right in with it, and it's not a
It
lot of extra
parallels.
time.
It
Yeah,
parallels it.
Sure.
So
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So we can do that too. We would definitely include that in because again, we have one model there that we did, and it would be easy to update it. Well, easier now. And again, with Gene's timeline, the December, January, then you always, you have those revenue and cost, all that, more in line too, in reality versus the theory that we had before. So that's a huge benefit.
Well, we're on the right path. We thank God we
Yeah, I
got
think
that
so.
solar up, but we're fortunate with the timing,
Yeah,
and we're
agree.
fortunate with the contractor we hired. These guys are just top notch.
Yeah, yeah, I'm impressed. So far they've been, as I said, highly, and they're enthusiastic too. I mean, it's all hugs and kisses, and I hope we continue, but they all just are enamored, being down here, and again, the owner has an emotional investment down here, too. I mean, like I said, a heck of a man. He told us he'd been crying, so, and I appreciate and admire that. I mean, anybody that gets that emotional, I think that's a really good thing to have that emotional investment and go with the monetary investment down here too.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I really appreciate that on his behalf and the company's too.
Are you good with all that? Uh, Alexa, I know you didn't
Yeah,
get a
no,
chance to speak much.
sounds like a
Okay.
plan.
Okay. Good. All right. If we're done with that topic, we can move to the Tickaboo Volunteer Fire Department update. So I finally got a hold of Mr. Tebbs. They had their meeting this week and discussed this whole situation in executive session. They're just like us. They don't feel comfortable appointing a chief unless they're a fully certified firefighter. And I can understand that. I think I can anyway. So the direction I got from Mr. Tebbs was to continue running the fire department as is with Rick and shoot, Leonard Iverson. They can continue working on the equipment. They'll fully fund any repairs that need to be done. Rick's going to continue going to the fire board meetings or joining the fire board meetings online, staying up to date with what's going on. And I think the next challenge for those two guys is to find somebody in the community that's willing to do the 180 hours of training. And the county offered to provide some money out of their budget for a scholarship per se to get that person certified. Once they're certified, they would be happy to recommend they be chief of the Tucaboo Fire Department. So it's kind of where we're at. I'm kind of reaching out to Rick, trying to facilitate that or get that in his ear so he knows what we need to do going forward. But I think we both decided anything's better than nothing at this point. Those two guys are really working hard to get that back in shape after it's set for so long. So that's kind of where that's at.
It's got to be
Yeah,
it's got to be their call though. It's got to be their decision.
Sure.
The way they do it. We don't want to assume that responsibility and let them think
No,
we're doing it. So it's got to
and
be
that's
their,
what that's what I told Mr. Tebbs. I said, it's not in our wheelhouse to appoint this person. Um, where the county's responsible for providing fire protection in the district. It's your responsibility. And he agreed with that. He just says they need to be certified. So,
Good.
and Rick's not interested. He's just got, he's getting up there in age and he's trying to, he's really busy with the mine. He doesn't have time to take 180 hours out to go get certified. And I understand that, but we need to find somebody else, whether it's one of the younger guys in town, Reed or somebody. Hopefully we can get somebody interested and get them in there and get it done.
Yeah. Well, hats off to Leonard, guys. And like you said, Mike Ricky's, 6, 7 a.m., 4 or 5 p.m. So he's got a, full-time job. But Leonard, every time I see him, which is often, he's got a truck out exercising it. He's been exercising hydrants. He and I got together so he could use some of the flushing in the sewers that needed it. So hats off to a guy that, has a passion for that. That cares. That's again, he's, taking action where he's, got desire, which is awesome. So hats off to him.
be sure you express our thanks to him for that too. I remember
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
No, I work with him, like I said, on items that, different fittings and stuff. And he even came up to the solar field. I think I told you guys, might have sent you some pictures, Mike, where he was able to exercise the truck spraying water up there because they needed it because it was so dry.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
good.
and I think the subcontractor was going to make a donation to the county for that, so that should offset some of the costs. But no,
Oh, good.
and it's been hot. I mean, it's just like everybody else. He's a human being too, man. He's been doing it in the heat, and we had some equipment, or the county, the fire department, uh, it wasn't working. It wouldn't start, and he used his connections to get people a mechanic to get it going and
Yeah.
good to do so.
Yeah. He sent a carburetor to Salt Lake to get rebuilt. And
Right,
he's
yeah,
been putting a lot of time and effort into getting those things back up and going.
yeah. So we go from no chance of any fire to at least a chance. Should something happen here? So that's a
Sure.
good thing.
All right, we're done with that. We can move on to water right updates. I've reached out to a few different brokers. The last one was that one that you sent me, John. They're going to be about $25,000 up front with a closing fee. That could be a percentage of the sale. So that, we're looking at 25, 30, $40,000 fee for that particular broker. I'm going to keep looking.
Good.
and keep digging and keep, doing everything we can to find something that's a little more affordable than that.
So
Um,
their fee is not a percentage of the transaction amount?
no, they base it on an upfront fee for engineering, basically, or their time, finding the right, getting it established, working with the seller, and then once the transaction goes through, they have another fee that goes on top of that.
So you pay
And
$25,000
20 to
plus a
25,
percentage?
yeah,
Wow,
plus a percentage. Yeah, it's expensive.
that's
Um,
crazy.
it
Mike,
is.
have them give you some preliminary contracts and stuff because I'm having a hard time with that. At least say put that in writing to us so that we have
Okay,
it.
we'll do.
Just
We'll do going forward. But
we're
I
just
think
gonna,
I'm sure there's somebody else we could find cheaper. That was they were a big brokerage.
Yeah.
Trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head. I should have had that researched and available for tonight. Um, but yeah, we'll keep looking and keep. I mean, it's constant. It's going to be constant between now and it's time we get water or our temporary right expires. So
So, I was gonna set up a meeting with the Division of Water Right, and then I heard about that EIS coming out on July 30th, and I thought I'd wait until after that.
okay,
So I will do that before next meeting.
okay, thank you. That's what I know on water rights, and thank you for that, Alexa.
Mm.
TUID board executive session. Well, I don't think we need one, do we? Anybody have any need for that?
Should we instead find out if any members of the public that have joined us want to say something?
Sure, sure. And then we'll go from there. Who do we have on board?
we had two join us.
Margaret and a Samsung SMS9. Yeah, so if either of you want to speak or ask any questions, you're welcome to. We'll go ahead and forward that public comment to now if you would like to say something. Not getting anything from anybody, going once, going twice. All right, we're
So
moving on. Um, we don't need an exec. General manager's report. John, did you want to add anything to everything we talked about, or are you good? Where are you at?
Minor, minor but major item that we've involves the county. I reached out again on the safety items that we needed, and then the machine operators. I've not heard back from those guys, so it's apparently enormously busy. Um, you know,
John, I forwarded your text about what needed to be done. If you're talking about the dump equipment, is that
that
what
and
you're
yeah,
referring to?
the batteries, Gene.
Yeah.
That yeah, that
I forwarded that on again and asked for a response.
okay.
I got a date on it, so I'll follow up again with him.
Yeah,
They
thank you.
think we are definitely the stepsister from hell that they don't want to be addressing anything. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Gene, I think, and just my thoughts, I talked to Mr. Tebbs about this a little bit last night. He called me. And he doesn't have anything to do with the dump, so he forwarded me
No,
on to Kate and everybody else. But um, I, I think what we really need to do is have them submit a proposal of what they need from us, and then
that's what we've asked for.
we can decide if we're even going to do this because
Yeah,
it's just getting stupid for John to have to spend all this time trying to hunt down parts for their equipment, repair their equipment. We really need some kind of agreement going forward that says TUID is going to do this for the county in
well,
return for this, and then
if
we
we're
all
going
know
to,
what we're doing.
if we're going to be doing that, we need to keep track of our time and bill them for it. They
Well, and
need
that yeah,
that.
that's my question to you guys. And let's say for example, and I take pride in being the stepsister from hell. We make do, and there's a pride in that. So that's good for us. But for example, the batteries, if I have to get them, I just want to be sure that they're not going to push back because it's going to be the cost to going to get them, and then the installation fee, that
We
we bill them for. So we can do that.
we
Um,
have to have an agreement in place that it
Yeah,
contractually obligates them to reimburse us for what we do. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
it's gotten to a point where we just got to get on their county commission meeting and address the issue directly.
yeah.
I just think that we're not going to get this thing head on until we push hard.
Yeah,
It's obvious that we're not of any importance, in my opinion, but or we're just not a priority item.
sure.
It,
I agree with that.
and so we need to put ourselves into a priority position by our actions and then require it to be addressed. Because we're not making headway with this, just going back and forth this way. I think we need to
No,
get a hold of Jerry Taylor and go on there and say, look, we want to get on a commission meeting and actually
okay.
express our concerns, what we want. It's pragmatic to have an agreement in place, and
Sure.
this fumbling back and forth, it just shouldn't happen. It's not right.
Yep. Well,
Well,
either I or Eugene can reach out
Uh,
to Dobbs. We both had communications with him. I think John's tried with no avail.
no,
But
I mean,
I think in the next couple of weeks, you and I both need to send him an email saying, hey, we need to get this straightened out, or we need to talk to the whole commission together and figure it out.
I
And
don't
I know he's not going to want that, so hopefully he'll play ball. We can get an agreement together.
I don't think we have an option but to get before the commission. Just say, look, this is where we're at. If we want to be serious about this, let's do it in a professional manner. Let's get this thing in writing. Let's see exactly. We've been talking about this now for 3 months, and
Sure.
it's gotten to a point where it's just this reason, that reason, whatever it is, they're procrastinating or don't have time for it, or we haven't hit the priority level. I think
Yep.
again we need to raise that priority level ourselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we can make it a little easier for them to by just I don't know,
Exactly.
putting in paper on writing some deal points and
Send it to
saying,
him.
I have
yeah,
no,
this,
I have no problem putting together a preliminary agreement, just simply saying, here's what we need in order for us to continue operating. And outline the bullet points and say, we need to put this in
yeah,
writing.
yeah,
You
and
know,
it doesn't have to be like
Formal agreement.
a whole document with
No,
preambles and
no,
boilerplate, just deal points.
no, it'd be a waste of time to do that.
Yeah,
Because it would be negotiated as to where the position, it's a simple agreement, just
yeah.
simple.
yeah,
And just,
We
we
just got to
can,
make sure and add like our employees' workman's comp that we're paying for them to
right,
run the dump and
we
stuff
need
like
to outline
that.
out. Let's, Mike, let's you and I take that on this next couple of weeks and do that. I can take some time to
Okay.
do that. Okay.
Yeah, I can damn sure help.
well,
Okay.
Mike, you mentioned workman's comp. One of the things Connie enlightened me to is we just had a workman's comp audit, and they really assess you in the rears, which I did not know. I was ignorant to. Basically, it may just be through the Utah government we go through, but you pay a flat fee, and we thought, well, that's not bad. Well, when they come back, when you go through the job audits, what everybody's doing, you actually pay more, and running that equipment at the dump is an expense for TUID too, a little bit above what we anticipated. So there's definitely cost, associated with that.
And it needs to be transferred to them. It's on their shoulders. It's not, we shouldn't be carrying any of that.
Yeah, right now we are. Yeah, just to let you guys know,
Yeah.
it's bring the comp
That
up,
needs,
we are paying that. Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
So,
All the known costs need to be written down, and then we need to put in there that anything that comes up, you're going to give us the authority up to $5,000 to repair.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something like that, to
And
where
then,
we're
and,
covered.
and then something that says that they have so much time to reimburse. We need to have it in
Yeah.
writing to put an obligation on them to perform. Because this is being nebulous right now. It's just insanity.
It is. It's crazy.
Well, it
I
does.
know they're busy, but
For an
Well, and the good
attorney,
news is
it's,
the dump looks good. Everything looks great out there. So that's
yeah.
we're take pride in that, and that doesn't affect how we do the job at all. Just so everybody understands, we take it very seriously. Kent does an excellent job, and that part is just noise to us. We have a job to do, and we're focused on the job at hand. So everybody's aware of that. So
And Kent's probably not going to be doing that job for another 5 to 10 years. So,
yeah,
oh, hell.
we ought to start looking at,
tough. Yeah,
that aspect as well.
no, it's a tough job. Yeah, I
Well, if we have parameters of what we can do, we can source it out. And that's
Yeah.
with employees and stuff and with Tony or whoever we're going to work with. So,
Yeah.
Mike and I, you and I can take that on.
Okay, sounds good, Gene. I'll get with you.
Yeah, thank you both. I think everybody.
All righty, got that covered. Next meeting, September 9th, 2026. And if nobody has anything else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Y'all
thank
have a
you,
wonderful
everyone.
evening.
Thank you all. All right.
Well,
You guys
see you
have a good
soon.
time.
John, thanks
Bye.
for everything.
Yes.
You've been superior in handling this. Really appreciate your time and your effort.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys. No.
second that.
Yeah.
Second
All of you
that.
guys
Thank you
too.
both.
No, you guys know I talk to you individually, and like I said, people don't realize you guys. This is volunteer. There's still rumors that you guys get paid handsomely, and we know better than that. So
Maybe I should check under my mattress.
yeah, no,
See if that's where
Under
all
the
the money
pillow.
is.
no,
I
The
can show you
TUID
my bank
fairy.
account statements. They're not showing anything better.
no. I appreciate every one of you guys. Great
Mhm.
support individually and collectively. So in turn, I appreciate that as much. So thank you.
Mhm.
I
Somebody
echo
put
that
something
too.
in the chat. Hmm,
What's that,
No,
Alexa?
I thought somebody put something in the chat, but
Oh, okay. No, I think it. Yeah, I think we're good.
okay. Well,
Thank
see
you
you all
guys.
later. Have a
All right,
good
you guys
Take
have
evening.
a
care.
great night.
Have a
All
good
right.
Thank
night, guys.
you.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you so much.